What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick.
My name's Nathan.
And this is Throttle Cars. In today's video, we're going to be going over some cars that you can buy for less or the exact amount of a brand new iPhone. If you don't know, the brand new top-of-the-line iPhone goes for $1,400, which is just an absolutely insane amount to think for a phone. So we thought it would be a neat video to go over some cars that you could actually buy for that amount. Before we jump into the video though, I want to say sorry for the lack of videos recently. We're going to be hopefully getting back into weekly videos, maybe twice a week videos, hopefully here within the next couple of weeks. Some are going to be list videos and hopefully some review videos in there as well. But with that said, let's jump right into the video. Alright guys, so the first car on this list is a 2001 Cadillac Deville. The 2001 Cadillac Deville we found is under the $1,400 price point, and it has about 120,000 miles. So the 2000 to 2004 Cadillac DeVille came with a Northstar V8 engine that has a lot of problems. So right off the bat, we want to say we are not recommending buying any of these cars because they will probably cost well more than what you bought them for to keep running. But this is a luxury car. It's got heated leather seats, the V8, and it's a pretty decent car except for the reliability, which can be questionable. But with that said, we'll jump to the next vehicle.
Alright guys, so the next vehicle that we have on this list is actually the oldest one that we found. It is a 1999 Buick Century Custom. So this is a 6-cylinder vehicle, 2-wheel drive, and it gets about 26 miles to the gallon. So this generation of Buick, honestly, I feel, and I'm going to think a lot of people agree with me on this, is that it was really, really ugly. You guys can see the picture right now. Not a very appealing to look at car, but it's still under that price range, and it actually had a pretty few miles on it.
Alright guys, so the next car on this list is a 2003 Acura MDX. We found this one with about 230,000 miles. So this is an Acura, it's Honda's luxury brand, so it is going to be most likely more reliable than the Cadillac or the Buick previously mentioned, but still we do not recommend buying it. There are a few cosmetic problems, as are going to be on most of these cars, but it's got leather interior, it probably has heated seats, I believe it has a V6, don't know about the power output or the miles per gallon, but I'll put that up on the screen right now as I'm talking. But the MDX is, again, as I said, a Honda under the skin, so it should be generally more reliable than the Cadillac, but with 230,000 miles, that is still going to be very questionable if you want to buy it.
Alright guys, so the next pair of cars that we do have on this list is going to be two little Beetles. So the Volkswagen Beetle GLS Turbo, those are the two cars that I found. One was a convertible and one was a coupe. They were both sitting just under 150,000 miles. One was at 147 and one was at 148. Both are pretty good on their gas mileage, actually 25 miles to the gallon in the city and 31 on the highway. So if you want to save some money in gas, this might be a good car to go, even though you're not really going to want to buy a car under $1,200 like Nick said earlier.
Alright guys, so for the next car on this list is going to be another Acura. This is going to be an Acura RL from 2004. So this one has a lot of miles. The most that we have mentioned yet has 263,000 miles on it. But again, it is a Honda under the skin. It's got a V6, it's got a leather interior, and all around actually looked pretty decent condition from the outside and the inside. Not really any major tears that I saw on the inside or no dents on the car body on the exterior. But again, mechanically, I don't know how long it would last, but it was a neat car to find under that $1,400 price point.
Alright guys, so the next car that we found on this list, which was actually higher up in, you could say, the newer cars, it was a 2006 Volvo S40. So you'll see the picture on the screen. It is actually a pretty nice looking car. Now we did find an S62 that was right around that same price range and same mileage of 160,000 miles, but we chose to put this one on the list because it looks a lot nicer and it looks like it might treat you to less problems in the future.
Now it does look nice from the outside, but again, we have no clue about what the engine's like, if there's any mechanical problems under the skin.
Of course.
Alright guys, so next up on this list we have the 2000 Dodge Durango. This does actually come with a V8, which is pretty neat, but that does mean it's going to be very thirsty, not very fuel efficient. But it's a big car, and you can see, I believe, 7, so if you need a lot of room for passengers, or just a lot of room in the car in general, this might be the pick if you absolutely have to buy a car under $1,400. This does have about 140,000 miles on it though, so again, as with most of these American cars above 100,000 miles, around the 150,000 mile area, reliability is probably not going to be great.
Alright guys, so for the last car on this list, you know that we had to include my $800 Civic. Alright, so this is the car right here that you guys know we have done a couple things to. So this I purchased for $800 from my neighbor, and of course it did have a couple problems, and it's still just continuing to have some minor problems that are increasing the original price, which is the thing that we mentioned in the beginning of the video. These cheap cars aren't really cheap in the long run. I'll give you guys a little bit of a walk around to show you. The rust really isn't too bad. Full throttle cars. Alright, so just to mention a couple of the things that we've had to do to this car. So I have had to replace 2 of the brake calipers, one on the front right and the left rear caliper, I do believe. And the battery in the beginning was not working correctly, but the neighbor actually fixed that, which was pretty nice. There was an instant need for an oil change, and then Nick and I did do a couple things to the vehicle together. We put the underglow kit on, which that didn't last very long due to a cable melting, and then we put on the light bar. Now those were not necessary, but that's just a couple things that we did that induced the cost to go up. This front bumper right here, this was always loose, and then there are just a couple spots under the car that really the plastic has rubbed off, and it's making the car get cheaper in value. So that kind of just goes over how a $800 car can really cost you in the long run. But to end the video on this clip right here.